you know he's on top. Million subs, he never gonna flop. Out of Chicago, where the streets don't sleep. Betting on games, making cash real deep. Crystal ball for sports, he knows the lines. He's a sports aficionado, the money he finds. From football to basketball, he's always on point. Predicting winners never disappoints. He's got that hustle, that Chicago vibe. Making moves on the streets, cash on the side. With E, you know it's always a bet. He's the king of the game, never forget.
Hello and welcome to the Etoft21sports Show for May 6th. How is everyone doing? My name is Erik. I'm the man behind Etoft21sports. Absolutely loaded episode for you today. My boy Christian, probably the best looking man ever to come on the show, is this week's special guest. He's hung out with Christian Bale. You name the A-list celebrities, he has hung out with him. Him and I are going to share our bets for Wednesday. But before I get into all that, I'd like to say thank you to the sponsor of the show, justouttennis.store. Go to justouttennis.store, use promo code ETOFT21 for 10% off, and ProphetX. Guys, I've been saying it for a while. This peer-to-peer betting stuff, this is going to be the future of sports betting. DraftKings, FanDuel, MGM, Caesars, those places, once you get to a certain level, they really start limiting you. You got to start doing the peer-to-peer stuff. That is definitely the future. Make sure to check that out. Download the app, use promo code ETOFT21, and you get 2% back for your first month of betting. Now let's go ahead and let's welcome this week's special guest, my boy Christian. Christian, how you doing, my man?
I'm doing well. I'm doing better after that intro, Erik. I appreciate it. I'm happy to be here.
All the way out in Pittsburgh, I need to ask you something. There is footage going around about an altercation between an usher and two inebriated men at the baseball stadium, whose name I'm spacing on. What is it like in that stadium? I mean, there was an ass kicking by an usher. There was the unfortunate thing where the kid was so excited he like jumped up and fell off the railing. Last time I heard, he was doing okay in the hospital. What's it like going to a Pittsburgh Pirates game?
PNC Park is often considered the number one park in all of baseball. It's a beautiful, beautiful sight to see, but you are going to run into a lot of jagoffs. You're going to run into a lot of folks that cannot hold their liquor. And I think that's what you saw. Two dudes that were really tuned up, exchanging blows. It's a shame. I'm hoping we get some more run support for Mr. Paul Skeens, but I'm firmly on sell the team.
I mean, it's brutal. You guys have him. You have another young pitcher coming out. He should make his debut this year. I'm spacing on his name.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about too.
I don't know what the hell you guys are doing at all. And also, you got to be careful. Skeens has not looked that good this year. I would be a little bit concerned about how much I'm going to use him. I kind of get what we were talking about earlier. You and I talked a little bit about it off air, about he's basically the only game in town. So having him there is really important. But I feel you kind of got to limit what he can do, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked off air about this, about do they put an innings limit? Do they cap him at some point this year and just preserve the future? And I don't hate the take. I think that's a perfectly reasonable thing to suspect. He is putting butts in seats, but the bottom line is he has not been as great this year as he was in the past. And being a lead Cy Young, leading into the preseason, I mean, it's a shame, but they never get run support. That's just sort of what we've come to learn from Pittsburgh. But I'm confident that he'll bounce back. And I am curious, though, if your idea does come to fruition for them.
Now, we always start off the show giving a takeaway. What's kind of like your sports takeaway, gambling takeaway? Like any sort of takeaway, what do you got for the people, my man?
Well, I mean, we'll go to UFL. 80% of underdogs this year coming away with dubs. So we're taking the points. We're taking underdogs in the UFL. Not only that, Michigan. Erik had a hot take with XFL Jim earlier this year about Michigan winning it all. And Michigan right now is by far and away the number one team in the UFL. They stand alone. My other major takeaway would be that Arlington simply does not have the offense to be considered a serious contender. I think Luis Perez, I think his best days are behind him. I think right now you got to go between. I'm a big DC guy. I have futures on DC and Arlington, but right now the way Bryce Perkins is playing is must-see football. And so I would say underdogs in the UFL, and on top of that, I would say Michigan is indeed legit.
My big takeaway, and I've been thinking about it, and I think the Milwaukee Bucks are one of the most unluckiest teams the last few years. Okay, now just hear me out. Okay, let's rewind the clock. Do you remember the COVID season? You remember all the way back there?
Yep.
When they shut down, do you have any idea what their record was?
Don't.
56-8. They were 56-8 when the league shut down. People forget how dominant they were. They were the best team in the league, cruising. The pandemic hits, seasons pausing, and all the momentum gone. They went to the bubble, beat the Magic. Giannis gets hurt. They lose the Heat in the second round, derailed by injuries. Next year, able to put it together. They get over the hump. The year after that, they lost to the Celtics in the second round, and guess what? Middleton got hurt.
That's right.
Fast forward to the season after that. They lost to the Heat in the first round. Giannis got hurt with that back injury. Okay. Last year, they lose to the Pacers in the playoffs. Giannis got hurt and Dame got hurt. This year, Dame gets hurt. You know what I mean? Like, is there like everyone's looking like Giannis hasn't done anything in Milwaukee, but does everyone sit back and say the Bucks have had some of the worst injury luck there has been?
I mean, Giannis to me is the best Buck of all time, and you're also looking at coaching malpractice with Darvin Ham and Doc Rivers on the same roster, and so.
And they waited till like the last game of the series to do the lineup they should have did. They should have been using the whole time. They're heading into a critical summer. And look, I know a lot of people are saying Giannis is going to demand a trade. And if he does, I think the Bucks owe it to him to find the right landing spot, go where he wants to go. But if he doesn't, he wants to stay, they've got it. I think they're doing it the right way. They're doing a decent job of building around him. Anytime it's been like this, they've made a move. Like they brought in Holiday, they brought in Dame to keep him happy. And he has been happy. It's just shit hasn't worked out because of injury luck. Giannis strikes me as a grinder, someone who's loyal, a guy who generally wants to be here. For everyone already acting like he wants out the door, I just say let's pump the brakes, let's see how it plays out. Because this run he's had in Milwaukee has been a lot better than people realize it. I mean, when we look at the Pacers just pulled off came back in a game they never should have won, let alone covered against the Cavs. Cavs had one of the worst coaching performances, one of the worst melts I've seen in a while. But can we talk about the Pacers' luck? Like back-to-back years, a banged-up Milwaukee team. Now they're going against Cleveland in a critical game too. No Garland, no Mobley, no Hunter. This team has been running insane. Like it's just one of those teams. It's been bouncing for him. But my takeaway is just I don't think people realize how good the Bucks run truly was. Just some injuries just kind of derailed it.
I think that's a great take. I mean, in most years, even a year like this for Giannis, he's taking MVP. It's like he has been such an underrated superstar in years past. And you're right. I noticed that especially they waited so long to get the right players on the court. Like their roster construction, the way that the coaching malpractice between Ham and Rivers went is just absolutely ridiculous. But I'm fully with you. The Pacers are just a team that are going to outwork you. Like they're not flashy, but like they are just going to like fundamentally execute better than other teams are, and they've gotten terribly lucky with injuries over the past couple of years. And I think maybe we owe Halliburton an apology. I know you're not the biggest Halliburton guy, but he definitely has been putting on.
I mean, look, dude, win something first, kid, and then we'll have a discussion. But when you're on Team USA and you don't even get off the court, I'm not off the bench. Look, dude, I'm not.
Tatum couldn't get off the bench.
I'm not the biggest Tatum guy either. So look, I usually have a video here where we play and we recap the last week, but my Mac storage on my iMovie is full and I could not delete enough space and time to make a little video. So I apologize for that. David and I were 3-3 last week. He hit the Tigers plus the 120, lost the Yankees minus 120, the Nationals plus 185 in the first 5. I hit Jaden McDaniels under 13.5, Rockets minus 3.5, but lost LeBron over 25.5. So we're 3-3. Made a little money, bouncing back on it. I have never had anyone on here give out NHL plays before. So this is a first. Christian is going to be giving out some NHL plays, and this one breaks my heart because I'm a Red Wing fan. But tell us what your first bet is, my friend.
I am going with the Maple Leafs money line for Game 2. It is yet to be seen what happens with Sam Bennett. He is likely to be suspended for his hit on Anthony Stolarz. So the Leafs will be without their starting goalie. However, their backup, Joseph Wall, is a proven starter in the league. He can play. Something about this Leafs team this year just feels different than years past. It feels like this is a good opportunity. Typically earlier in the series, the core 4 are going to show up. And so I feel a lot more confident putting my faith in them in the first 3 games as opposed to a Game 6 or a Game 7. And so without Sam Bennett, Bobrovsky looked awful in goal for them in Game 1. I like Toronto to come out 2-0 series lead. Now, if you like them enough, you could take them on. I haven't looked at series odds props on them, but since they've already won the first game, it might be useless. But something about this Maple Leafs team this year, Bassinet on Twitter, everyone's happy. I'm very excited. I like Toronto straight up over Florida. But shout out Detroit, a fellow original 6.
Yeah, that pains me, dude. I mean, as a Red Wings fan, man, just utterly pains me. I should have wore my Red Wings hat. So my first one, and look, dude, I absolutely hate what I'm about ready to say, but I'm taking the Boston Celtics minus 10.5. Home teams in the playoffs after losing Game 1, they have covered the spread 56.3% of the time in Game 2. Now let's just narrow it down to second seeds. So second seeds overall, when they're at home, they lose Game 1. In Game 2, they cover at 64% of the time. Now let's narrow it even more. Let's only look at the second round. After a 2 seed drops Game 1, they come back and cover Game 2 at a 72% clip. That's pretty impressive, a number I can't deny. Now, over the last 3 seasons, what have the Celtics shown us? They always shit the bed in some random playoff game. Over the last 3 seasons, they are 14-3 ATS after a straight-up loss in the playoffs. Combine that with the regular season over the same time frame, they're 61.6% ATS in that spot. Now, in the playoffs, when they fail to cover, the next game they're 12-3, 80% over the last 3 seasons. Now, when we just talk about regression, there's a ton coming in this game. Boston made the most threes in the league this season. Shot 37% from deep. Last night, they hit 25% from 3. And did you see how many threes they missed in a row?
Oh, my God. It was ridiculous.
45. They missed 45 three-pointers in a row. Just let that sink in. 45 times in a row, they missed the three-point shot. Tatum, a 34% shooter, went 4 of 5. Jaylen Brown, a 32% shooter, went 1 of 10. Drew Holiday, 35%, 2 of 7. Derek White, 38%, shot 5 of 16. All those guys are due for better nights. It's just regression to the mean. Flip side, the Knicks got Mikal Bridges, who can't hit the broadside of the barn, banking in a corner three to tie the game. 29 points from OG Anunoby. Those aren't sustainable outputs. I expect some regression to the mean there. Now, let's not forget Boston blew a 20-point lead. They dominated most of the game, took their foot off their gas. That's not happening here. Shot quality, one of the best sites to use when betting basketball, graded this as a 126 to 112 Celtics win based on the expected 14-point edge. I expect a full bounce back. Boston focused. The crowd will be juiced. All the trends are lining up. Give me the Celtics here, minus 10.5, my friend.
I love it. I love that pick. I love, normally I'm somebody who's trying to look at the trends and trying to follow the underlying metrics. And here I am just going a lot off of gut, off of me putting in the effort and watching my team throughout the year. And my second bet is also going to be in this Toronto, Florida game.
Okay, dude. You're just hammering this game, dude.
I like Austin Matthews to score. Nothing to sneeze at. 7 points in 7 games. He only has 2 goals. But the bottom line is that he is making a ton of plays around the net. He's racking up blocks. He's doing well at faceoffs. He's pretty much doing well in every facet of the game, aside from Game 5 against Ottawa, where he played poorly. But I think we are going to be treated to that Austin Matthews signature Stanley Cup moment. I think that he's going to start coming into his own. I mean, this is somebody who had the most goals in a season other than Mario Lemieux in the 90s. He is, to me, the greatest American-born goal scorer of all time over Patrick Kane. And so I put my faith into him. I put my faith into Berube as a coach. He's going to get a ton of shots on goal here. If you like him to be I think the first player to get shots on goal, I think he's minus 145, which I don't love, but I think he's going to rack them up, and I think one goes in. I would expect a low-scoring game, but we'll get to that in a bit. So I will take Austin Matthews to score a goal.
I like it, dude. I like it. I found that one at plus 150 when I was looking in the market. My next one, and you know what? I hate the fact I'm laying big numbers. Give me the Oklahoma City Thunder minus 11. Historical trends, they all point toward the bounce back, as I mentioned before, in the playoffs. Home teams, after losing game 1, 56% ATS in game 2. Narrow it down, second round, 72%. When it is the top seed in the second round of the playoffs after a game 1 loss, they're covering 70% of the time. Classic bounce back spot. It's the one that I love to get circled. When we look at the Thunder, they were 28-12 against the spread this season at home, 70% cover rate. They've consistently delivered in this Bill game. Let's talk about Denver. I think this is just a huge letdown. They went to OKC, took game 1, mission accomplished. This will be their 4th game in 7 nights. The legs are going to be tested. Michael Porter Jr. isn't 100%. I was listening to a podcast. This guy was in the locker room. He has to physically have someone come on and help take off his jersey. That's how bad his shoulder is. That's only a time, and him not being there is really going to limit the rebounding and the spacing options of Denver. Even more telling, did you see the video going around social media today, my friend?
Oh, my gosh, yeah.
Joker at the bar. Now, look, I'm not saying this is going to decide a game, but when you see the best player on the road at a bar, Denver may just be happy they got that game, and we see what happened. I believe it was in game 6 where they put up a little fight, but then the second half they just were like, hey, we're going to pack it in. We're just going to go home. I expect OKC to make some adjustments, especially with how to attack Murray. Denver managed to hide him really well defensively in game 1. I don't think that's going to happen again. I expect Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and the Thunder guards to hunt him down in matchups, crack him down. Let's not forget the Thunder's offense, historically efficient all year. They shot 42% from the floor in game one, well below their standard. Shot quality was fine. The execution wasn't. That corrects itself more than often at home. And this is just the kitchen sink game for OKC. They cannot go 0-2 to Denver like the Cavs did tonight. And I really think that's going to be huge for them, because if they have that big lead going into the fourth quarter, that's going to be in the front of their heads. We can't pull the Cavs. We can't let off the gas here. I expect max effort, full effort from a young team. When we add it all up, we have historical strengths, favor the bounce back, elite home ATS record, clear motivational factors. We got some fatigue for Denver. Thunder team due for some positive shooting regression. I'm all in on OKC Thunder. Expect a full effort, and I fucking hate myself for laying 12.
I like the play. I mean, Denver is sort of playing on borrowed time at this point. They limped into the postseason. Aaron Gordon is playing out of his mind. Michael Porter Jr. has been underwhelming, to say the least. And there's, with what the Cavs have done, there's just no way that the Thunder and the Cavs both come out that poorly. And so I am fully in support of the play.
And like, there's this huge trend that supported the Thunder in the first round in the first game one. They're up big too, and they let their foot off in game one. I just don't think that's going to happen. I think we're going to see a rout. Speaking of the Cavs, WTF? Yeah, that was quite something that we just watched on the old television. Next bet, my friend, and you're staying in the Leafs game, dude.
Staying in the Leafs game. I'm playing what I know. We're going Leafs Panthers on 5.5. I wanted to provide, 3 plays all at plus money, and I think this is going to be a gritty game. I think really with this play, you're putting your faith in Joseph Wall and knowing that the market doesn't realize that he's a wonderful goaltender. He would be a starter on most teams. I think the Leafs have done amazing restructuring their defense. Guys like Chris Tanev and Simon Benoit are playing out of their mind. And so with no Sam Bennett in Florida, more than likely, the enforcer out, I think you're going to see Ryan Reeves in the lineup. I think you're going to see him throwing bows. I think this is just going to be a game where it just sort of comes down to the wire. I might even sprinkle a little bit on OT. My prediction would be 3-2 Leafs, but I could also see 2-1 Leafs. Realistically, if Florida doesn't score 3 goals in the third period, I mean, that's another low scoring effort. We had a late goal with Matthew Nyes, and so really it should be back-to-back games going under, and I think you're going to see that regression here. So I would bet the under 5.5, and I would say that it's going to be a lot grittier than the first game, with a lot less offense. And I know that Erik has had some success with, taking the first, you wait for the first however many minutes for the first goal scorer, because it's like a lot of these games are going to go under. A lot of these games are going to be low scoring. Now, we had bad luck. Avalanche, obviously, like last second in Winnipeg, like it just, but for the most part, we are due for some positive regression with the unders. And so I think it starts there.
My favorite things to do in playoff hockey, my favorite bets in playoff hockey are no goal first period. Love that goal. And then if there's like of the first period, there's 4 goals, to take no goal second period. Or if it's like a huge period in the second period, but it's tied going into the third, take no goals in the third. I love live betting NHL and betting no goal first period and no goal first 10 minutes. Though I absolutely love those angles. What would be going through your head if you were a Blues fan and that goal went in?
I can't even imagine. I mean, you have a 2-0 lead, all the momentum, and then just, less than 2 seconds left on the clock. I can't even imagine what the live odds were just absolutely disgusting. And then to lose in double OT, I mean, it is just that's sad. And Winnipeg is a tough place to play right now. They have the best playoff environment in hockey. It's a shame. I was rooting for the Blues. What a way to go out.
So, no, normally in NBA, there's this historic trend you fade teams coming off game 7. But aren't the Stars coming? The Stars are coming off of game 7 too, right?
Stars are coming off of game 7,
The
correct.
Jets are coming off of game 7. Yep. So you can't really do anything in that game. So anyone that watches me on any of the streaming I do on Diamond Bets or on this knows there is one major league pitcher that is my man. I will ride or die with this guy, and it would not be a show if I didn't bet on him. Give me Brian Wu and the Seattle Mariners -0.5. First 5 -110. Let's break down why. Wu has been money in this spot. For his career, he's covered the first 5 spreads 60.9% of the time with 11.3% ROI. But when he's a favorite, even gets better. 21-9, that's 70%, 27.9% ROI. And against the Athletics specifically, he's 6-1 on the first 5 spread in his career, 91.5% ROI. Absolute dominance. This season, Wu is locked in. You know, that 60-1 Cy Young bet I gave out way back when is looking great. 2.58 ERA, an insane 0.83 whip. Now, when we look at the last 2 outings, 1.42 ERA, 0.39 whip. That's elite form. Now let's talk about the matchup. The A's are throwing Gunnar Hoglund, who looks solid in his debut versus the Marlins. 6 innings, 6 hits, just 1 run. But when you do a deeper dive, the one stat that kind of stands out, and the only run he gave up was a home run. I always looked at left on base percentage. That's how much people are getting on and don't get home. 100%. So that means like there was always runners stranded. Now he's going up against a Mariners team that's been heating up. The last 2 weeks, Seattle 4th in batting average against right-handed pitching, and 10th most runs scored against right-handed pitching in that stretch. I think the kid's going to struggle here in his second outing, especially against an MLB team now having tape and scouting him. I love fading young pitchers in their second start of their time they've been called up. So the pitching edge, the matchup, and my guy Wu in top form and all those trends. Give me the Seattle Mariners -0.5. First 5, dude.
Can't fade Wu. Can't fade Eric's guy.
Dude, when he first came up, FanDuel used to have this prop where who would have the most strikeouts on a night.
Yeah.
Brian Wu was 50-1 one night. And I threw the max bet would let me was $50. And that slippery son of a bitch won the bet for me, dude. I mean, this guy is electric. And I'll tell you what, like there's a couple guys I went in on with this like baseball card phenomenal shit that's coming back. I have probably about 35 Brian Wu rookie cards. And I'm telling you, once he wins the Cy Young, I'm feeling it, man. I'm feeling it. And dude, big news. I just got the alert. Curry has left the game with a left hamstring strain. That is absolutely huge. 12-point game, though, with 4 minutes left in the first. So, yeah, you know, we'll see what happens right there. Hopefully good for my Timberwolves bet. Green is 4 of 5 from deep to start, dude. Jesus. Edwards, 0 of 7 to start.
I like the Wolves in the series. I like them to win convincingly in 6, but it's tough to make that prediction when the other team does have Steph. It's just you never want to bet against Steph. So obviously praying for his recovery, but if he ends up missing, you know, say 2 games, I mean that's absolutely huge. And so
Christian, I'd like to thank you for coming on, taking time out of your schedule to talk a little sports betting and everything. Why don't you tell everyone where they can find you on social media, my friend?
Yeah, absolutely. You can find me at TDI Productions on YouTube and $20 Insurance on Instagram. That is our horror short account. We just hit over 1,000 subs last month on YouTube. So come check out our YouTube horror shorts. We just raised over $8,000 on a Kickstarter for our upcoming feature film Monroe Acres. And so we're happy to have you all on. And I really hope that I have helped you in some way and maybe expose some NHL on here. That might be a thing that I keep a common thread the next time I'm on. I'm happy to bring the ice.
Hey, buddy, I appreciate you coming on. Stanley Cup playoffs, Stanley Cup finals are right around the corner. We can have you on for that, man. I appreciate you. Make sure to give him a follow. And our buddy XFL Jim does some streaming on the weekends, and him and Christian and I always pop in for a little bit. So make sure to give Christian a follow, and we'll be back next week. Good luck in your bets, and we'll talk soon, my friend.
Sounds good.